Right now at noon, the results are in for the spring primary in Wisconsin, who's moving on and what passed in some of the races. Plus, Governor Evers delivers the biennial budget address, what's in it and how Republicans are responding. This is News 3 Now at noon. Thanks for joining us on a Wednesday afternoon. I'm Josh Breiter. We start with first warn weather once again this afternoon. We've made it to our third and final day of bitterly cold conditions this week. The good news, temperatures will soon be warming back up. First warn meteorologist Jacob Madison has your certified most accurate forecast. We're almost there, Jacob.
Yeah, temperatures slowly getting better, but it is going to be a slow incline as we head towards the weekend. Current temperatures right now, they are above zero, single digits out there. And if you could believe it, it actually is just a little bit warmer compared to yesterday. Not by a lot, but around 2 to 5 degrees warmer. That's something, I guess you could say, because yesterday definitely very cold. Looking at the current wind speeds, we also are seeing some light wind, nothing too windy, but we're still in that point where a little bit of wind can create those very cold wind chills. And looking at the current wind chills, a lot of areas still below zero. Some areas to the south and west close to the negative teens. So still dealing with those very cold temperatures, and we're still going to be dealing with them tomorrow. Now, as we look at the current radar, very clear across southern Wisconsin. That's going to be the case in terms of snowfall. We are seeing some clouds. We are expected to see some snow showers in northern Wisconsin. Some of that snow may creep into the northern portion of our area, but for the most part, we are going to remain dry today. Looking at the high temperature forecast, we're only going to get to about 10 degrees with mostly cloudy skies. A few peaks of sunshine are possible. And then I'll talk a little bit later about the temperature slowly warming up, but it is still going to be cold to end this week. I'll have more details a bit later.
All right, Jacob, we'll see you then. Thank you. You can track it all for yourself on our First Warn weather app. It has hourly forecasts, road conditions, and radar. Just download it for free in your phone's app store by searching WISC Weather. Turning now to results from the primary election, the one race that every Wisconsinite had on their ballot was for state superintendent. It is a role that comes up every 4 years and oversees public education across the state. Wisconsin is the only state where voters elect a top education official. The two advancing DPI candidates are incumbent Jill Underly, seeking a second term, and education consultant Brittany Kinzer. Although state superintendent is a nonpartisan role, Underly is backed by Wisconsin Democrats. Kinzer is favored by Republicans. The school district of Madison will not be shutting down after their referendum passed due to funding shortages. If this was not approved, the district could have been dissolved. This is the district's third ask. They gained more supporters each time from last April to November and now. This does mean people in the Madison School District can expect an increase in their property taxes. That number is an additional $35 for every $100,000 of assessed property value. This will fund the school district for the next 4 years. If you want to see the up-to-date numbers from that race and other contests, just visit channel3000.com. There's a link on our homepage to the results, and you can see them all right there. Governor Evers' new plan to spend your tax dollars is out. This after laying it all out in his biennial budget address. Last month, he declared 2025 the year of the kid, and he detailed how the budget would address that priority.
My pro-kid budget makes the largest investment in Wisconsin kids in any budget by any governor in state's history. With irresponsible decisions in Washington every day, hurting people in Wisconsin, we will need to have state resources readily available to respond to basic and emergency situations alike.
Let's look at some of those proposals. The governor is calling for more than $300 million to address lead contamination, $145 million to fight PFAS contamination, $80 million for state efforts to improve student literacy scores. Spending on youth-related initiatives amounts to just over $3 billion. The governor also wants to give $60 million to state technical colleges and is calling for the largest ever increase in funding for the UW system schools. His address did not specify how much. His plan also includes $2 billion in tax relief for those in the middle class. Here's reaction from Republican lawmakers.
This is kind of like the movie Back to the Future. He tried these things for the last 2, 4, and 6 years ago in his budgets. Just like then, lots of tax increases, lots of spending, and I have a belief that my colleagues will reject them just like they did before.
The budget will originate in the state legislature. Since Republicans control both chambers, they will have a majority say in what ends up being the eventual budget. Staying at the Capitol, those recovering from losing their homes in natural disasters could receive tax incentives to move to Wisconsin as part of a new bill Republicans have introduced. State Representative Cindy Duco and Senator Dan Fine authored the bill. They argue drawing people to the state could help alleviate workforce shortages. The two lawmakers cite a report from a task force Governor Evers formed. It shows major deficits in multiple fields, especially health care. Those who move could receive an income tax credit of up to $10,000. Anyone with a felony conviction is not eligible for the benefit. The task force report says the deficit in registered nurses could reach 19,000 by 2040 and nearly 32,000 annual openings in the healthcare field over the next 5 years. The bill follows natural disasters such as Hurricane Helene and the wildfires in Southern California. They both claimed more than 250 lives. Thousands of federal government employees have been given pink slips in the first month of the Trump administration. The president and his DOGE chief, billionaire Elon Musk, are defending those cuts in their first joint interview. CBS's Natalie Brand is at the White House.
He's still doing it.
In a joint interview with Fox News, President Trump and Elon Musk defended efforts to downsize the federal government.
What all we're really trying to do here is restore the will of the people through the president. And what we're finding is that there's an unelected bureaucracy.
The White House insists that DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, is advising agencies, but that final decisions on who gets cut rest with agency leaders or secretaries. And those cuts have created confusion, like at the USDA, where CBS News confirmed some veterinarians and animal health technicians working on the bird flu outbreak were accidentally fired. The agency said it's now working to rescind the dismissal letters.
What do we want?
Justice! Outside the CDC in Atlanta, protesters sounded off against cuts impacting more than 1,000 newer employees there. Democratic lawmakers worry about potential impact to the public, especially with cuts to agencies like the FAA.
These are really important jobs to the current system, and the current system has to keep functioning.
In the Fox News interview, President Trump insisted benefits such as Social Security are safe.
Other than this fraud or something, we're going to find it's going to be strengthened, but won't be touched. Medicare, Medicaid, none of that stuff is going to be touched. Nothing.
Late Tuesday, a federal judge ruled the court could not immediately block DOGE's efforts to access federal computer systems without clear evidence of imminent irreparable harm. But she acknowledged the seriousness of allegations from states filing the lawsuit. Natalie Brind, CBS News, the White House.
The Trump administration says DOGE is focusing next on the Department of Defense, with representatives visiting the Pentagon, weighing cuts at the federal government's largest agency. Postmaster General Louis DeJoy is resigning. The Postal Service says he notified the Board of Governors that it should begin to find his successor. DeJoy has served as the 75th Postmaster General for 5 years. His tenure was filled with delivery delays and financial losses, drawing criticism from both sides of the aisle. Amid slower delivery times, many Democrats and Republicans say his changes negatively impact Americans. While the president is not directly involved in hiring the Postmaster General, he does appoint Board of Governors members to multi-year terms. 7 men have been charged in connection with a nationwide burglary spree of professional athletes' homes. According to a federal criminal complaint, the defendants have been targeting athletes from the NFL and NBA, including Milwaukee Bucks player Bobby Portis. The burglaries took place from October to December last year. The complaint states the men are Chilean nationals and allege they are members of a South American theft group. If convicted, they could each face a maximum penalty of 10 years in prison. Still ahead for us this afternoon, how sports brand Nike is teaming up with Kim Kardashian, plus why the Coca-Cola company is joining the prebiotic soda war with a new line of drinks.
You're watching News 3 Now at noon. Moving forward.
President Donald Trump is threatening to impose a 25% tariff on automobile imports. Yesterday, the president said he would reveal more on that proposal in early April. The president has already imposed a 25% tariff on all aluminum and steel imports, and he's directed his administration to look into reciprocal taxes to match what other countries impose on U.S. goods. Coca-Cola beverage line Simply is joining the prebiotic soda wars, launching its own Simply Pop line of fruit-flavored beverages, joining the ranks of popular rivals like Olipop and Poppy. The company says the drinks have no added sugar and contain 6 grams of prebiotic fiber to support gut health and vitamin C and zinc to support immune function. Simply Pop hits store shelves later this month. And Nike is teaming up with Kim Kardashian's Skims on a new women's fitness wear brand. The company say the ventures will include apparel, footwear, and accessories that are inclusive to all body types and crafted to fit every curve and enhance the body's natural form. The first Nike Skims collection is expected to debut sometime this spring, with a global expansion coming in 2026. That's your CBS News Money Watch report. For more, log on to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the CBS Broadcast Center, I'm Chanel Call.
Here's the stock report at the noon hour. The Dow is down 163 points, NASDAQ down 11, and the S&P 500 up 2. Our Call for Action volunteers are in the building taking your consumer complaints and taking action on your behalf. Call for action at 608-270-2833 or submit a claim anytime at channel3000.com/call-for-action. Pam Yankee is in with the farm numbers ahead, and Jacob returns with the first warn forecast. Then later on Live at 4, Lisa Briggs from the Bruce Company stops by to answer your plant questions. Email those now to tips@channel3000.com, and we'll get them answered live at 4. Welcome back. Let's check in now with Pam Yankee from the Midwest Farm Report. Happy Hump Day, Pam.
That's right. And speaking of that, I think we're going to start turning the corner as far as weather is concerned. I just want to remind people about one very unique quality that Wisconsin has that we sometimes take for granted, our snowmobile trails. Honestly, I don't think that I recognized how intricate our snowmobile trails are until I talked to Sam Landis. He's a Dane County resident who is also a part of the Association of Wisconsin Snowmobile Clubs. And we have got plenty across the state. In fact, probably Wisconsin's premier trails compared to everybody else in the upper Midwest. Sam was telling me we've got 25,000 miles of snowmobile trails across the state. And if you look at the state roads, the state highways we've got, only 11,000 miles of that. So far more snowmobile trails. Sam was telling me that he can drive from his place in Dane, Wisconsin, all the way up to Lake Superior on these trails. And they have a lot of farmers to thank for those trails. 75% of the trails cross privately owned properties with seasonal easements that they get from the 600 plus volunteer clubs that are dotting the state of Wisconsin. They've got about 40,000 family members that make up the Association of Wisconsin Snowmobile Clubs. So when you see those posts out there that are marking directions in the middle of a farm field on snowmobiles and which way they should be going, that's thanks to these volunteer clubs. And Sam says they couldn't do it without farmers and their cooperation on those seasonal easements to make sure everybody gets a chance to ride those trails. And like I said, I'm bringing it up today because with the warm-up that's on the way, at least in southern Wisconsin, those trails might become a little less quality than they are today and in jeopardy of allowing for a ride. But farther north, everything has been going good. Sam also reminds people that, a lot of small communities depend on that snowmobile traffic, those bars, those restaurants, convenience stores. And then when they're not using it for snowmobiles, they're using it for ATVs or UTVs in many areas. Today, the barrel cheese down 3/4 cents, 1.80 3/4. 40-pound block cheese down 2 1/4 at 1.89 3/4. But the AA butter up 3 cents today to $2.44 a pound. Kind of one of those lost quality items of Wisconsin outdoor life I forget about. Snowmobiling. Used to do it when I was a kid. Somehow time eludes me now, but boy, does that sound like a blast with improving temperatures. And I think Jacob's got improving temperatures for us.
It's like you knew what my weekend plans are. That's where I'm heading. I'm going up north with my family this weekend. So we finally got the snow. Yeah, we're going to snowmobile. You betcha.
Righteous. Good on you. Take pictures and share. Good
It's been a few years since we've had enough snow or that I've had the time to be able to go. So I'm looking forward to it.
That's true. Good on you.
All right, Pam, you have a good afternoon.
See you later.
As we've been talking about, we're finally warming up after being stuck in the cold so far this week. Here's meteorologist Jacob Montesano with that little bit of light at the end of this long, dark tunnel, Jacob.
Yeah, by next week it is going to be a lot better. But although alert day conditions are going to end today, it is still going to be cold to end the week. The increase in temperatures will be kind of a slow increase over the next 4 to 5 days. But by Sunday, that's when it really will be milder. And we're also going to continue to be dry going forward. So as we take a look at the cold weather advisory, not in effect tonight for southern Wisconsin, but you can see just the south and west, there are areas in that cold weather advisory, and still a lot of the Midwest expect to see very cold temperatures tonight. And our area will see cold temperatures tonight as well, just not to the level where a cold weather advisory will need to be issued. So taking a look at the wind chill forecast, we're going to continue to be below zero throughout the day and into the evening. Overnight, they could drop back down to near negative 20-degree values, but the difference between today and tomorrow is that we finally will see those wind chills get above zero tomorrow, at least on a consistent basis, and actual temperatures will get to around 20. So again, still very cold, but obviously it will be better than what we're seeing now and what we have seen the last couple of days. Friday will be similar to tomorrow, where we will start below zero during the morning, but then it will get up above zero, possibly into the positive teens by the afternoon. But again, still kind of cold. And once we get to Saturday, we may finally see the morning hours stay above zero in terms of the wind chills. And then by Sunday, the wind chills aren't even going to be a factor by Sunday. So taking a look at the highs for today, not going to rise all that much. We'll have highs right around 10. Could see a few peaks of sunshine here and there. Otherwise, mostly cloudy skies will continue. And we'll see cloudy skies early tonight with some clear skies late. Low temperatures will be right around zero for a lot of southern Wisconsin. As I mentioned, wind chills once again in the negative teens. And as we look at tomorrow's high temperature forecast, we'll be right around 20. So again, it definitely is going to be better, but it is funny that we're talking about highs in 20 as a lot better. Just goes to show you how cold it's been today in the last couple of days. And as we take a look at the high temperatures going forward, they're going to be possibly in the middle 40s by the time we get to next work week. So there is light at the end of the tunnel, but notice still going to see some cold temperatures for the end of this week. And then Sunday, it's going to be a lot better. Now, as far as precipitation chances go, and I'm showing the precip chance rather than the snowfall chance, because by the time we get to next week, we could see some rain because temperatures will be warm enough. Very dry for the rest of this week through the weekend. Small rain chance as we head into Monday, especially Monday night, but we're still not expecting much. And with temperatures being where they will be, accumulation is very unlikely. But even for all the snow lovers out there, I'm sure a lot of people will take the warmer temperatures for next week. It's going to feel like spring in comparison to today. And only in Wisconsin can you say 40s feels like spring. It just goes to show you how cold it's been.
I can only imagine all the shorts we're going to see outside once we hit that temperature.
Yeah, I might be one of them.
I might be too.
It's just, I mean, if you get the sunshine out there, it really will feel like spring just because of the comparison to what we're dealing with right now.
Big time. All right, Jacob, thank you. A reminder, the Spirit of Service campaign is underway as we look to honor our local veterans making a positive impact in the community. News 3 Now is partnering with Vortex and giving back to veterans. All you have to do is log on to channel3000.com, nominate a veteran in your life doing something good, and over the next coming weeks, we'll be sharing their stories, and you'll get a chance to vote and choose which veteran gets to take home a $5,000 cash prize. A winner will be announced in early April. Up next, Howard has a quiz for us in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
The fact that the sea is bigger than a bay has a lot to do with what we're whipping up today. Any ideas what it could be? The other day, I was at a restaurant and had some of the best scallops I've had in a long time. And it dawned on me, as I was eating them, that I haven't shared a scallop recipe with you in quite some time. So let me show you my take on the dish that I thought was so good. We'll dry some sea scallops on a paper towel before seasoning them with a bit of salt and pepper. And if you're not sure how to tell the difference between sea scallops and bay scallops, here's a way to remember. Bay scallops are the smaller ones since they come from a bay, which is smaller than the sea. After these are sauteed, we take them out of the pan and cover them to keep them warm while we add some chopped onion, garlic, tomatoes, and a little more salt and pepper. Once they're tender, we add a splash of white wine, or we can use chicken broth, along with some capers. Then all we have to do is serve this over our scallops, and we have a restaurant fancy meal. Maybe serve this over a bed of wilted spinach to make it even more la-di-da. And don't forget to spoon all that flavor-packed sauce over them, too. I do hope you'll go online and get the recipe for our bistro pan-seared scallops, so you'll have this easy gourmet recipe right at your fingertips. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a fancy way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Here's Jacob with the final check of the forecast.
Thanks, Josh. As we look at the temperatures the next couple of days, they're going to slowly increase, and then by Sunday, they are going to be a lot better. And then throughout all of next week, they're going to continue to be above normal. 40s are in the forecast Monday through Wednesday. We also have a few small chances of precipitation, but right now, we're not expecting much in the form of rain or snow for that matter. Certainly not a lot of snowfall with those temperatures. So just a few more days of the cold weather. Alert day is only lasting until today, but still cold to end the week.
All right, Jacob, thank you. Thanks for joining us. Have a great afternoon. We'll see you at 4.